Welcome to the Piston Fanatic. I'm your host, Dave Dalton, and I'm excited to share my passion and perspective of our Detroit Pistons as we go on this fantastic voyage together. I've been a diehard Piston fan since the days of Dave Bing and Bob Lanier. I've also been the varsity basketball coach of a very successful program in northern Michigan. I want to thank all of you for listening. Please subscribe, pop on that thumbs up button. It helps promote the podcast. Well, Piston fans, I've been waiting. I've been waiting to break some great news and some big deal. And once again, we are continuing our underwhelming offseason. And I got to be honest, it's not anything that Chaz Lanier didn't say that he wasn't going to make any big moves or whatever. But I just feel like this was a buyer's market. You know how, like with the stock market, you buy low and make money. And this was a time you could have bought low. There were a lot of players that were available. It's just like real estate. Sometimes, real estate prices drop, and then you kind of know, especially in certain areas, they're going to go up. And this was a time that we could have gotten, even the Danny Ainge, who's just the Scrooge and always has to get the best deal. He traded Colin Sexton for almost nothing. John Collins, the guy that I wanted so bad to give us that 6'9" guy that can shoot the three, that's 27 years old, for 1 year, and they gave him away. They gave him away for like a second round draft pick. I mean, there was a three-way trade, and it with the Utah Jazz and the Miami Heat and the Clippers, and so the Clippers got Collins, and again, it was for nothing. I mean, it's not like we were. I don't know. I don't know what I would love to know what we offered, or if we did offer, or if we had any interest. I've been on here for last couple of weeks talking about Jake LaRavia, and who knows? He signed for $6 million a year, and why didn't we offer him $8 million a year? He gets only 2 years guaranteed, and so there's just Gary Trent signed for like less than $4 million a year. Gary Trent Jr. I don't know why. I don't know why. Did we try to get him? And I don't know. Hard to judge. Maybe the evaluation of that Gary Trent Jr. is not as good as um, Duncan Robinson, but and I know Robinson's taller, but Gary Trent Jr. I mean, he had 30 points in playoff games against the Pacers, and he dropped the ball, a pass that went through his legs. Otherwise, the Bucks would have won that game. But he went for nothing. Jay Huff, a center that could shoot the three. He played for the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies gave him away to the who did they give him away to? The Indiana Pacers. They gave him away, 7-footer that can shoot threes and is a good player, and he doesn't make any money, and it just, I don't know. I guess we didn't need necessarily a center, but there's all this talk that we want somebody that's tall. So there were lots of moves out there, and I I don't know. I'm not. And again, I know Trajan knows what he's doing, but it's just disappointing. We all like something new and something exciting. We all expected it, a big move, and we're hoping for it. We've been getting teased all along. Again, I've been just looking at my Twitter thing day after day and every minute and waiting to see when the big move. But we ended up trading Dennis Schroder for a 20, and we're giving away a 2029 second round pick. And so no, we're giving, we're giving that away, and then we're getting back a 2026 second round pick, but it's protected to like from 55. I mean, it's not like it probably will never convey. But I did hear an interesting thing. Again, Kyle Metz, he knows the collective bargaining agreement inside and out, and he knows the salary cap. He is suggesting that um, he thinks that he would like to see us roll over LeVert into that trade exception that we just received from the Kings, and then that would free up the non-taxpayer mid-level exemption, which would allow us to go over the cap and sign another player for 14.3 million. I don't know if we did it. I'm sure we have a very smart Mike Blackstone, and that he's really good with, according to all reports, with knowing the salary cap inside and out and knowing the ramifications. So I'm sure if they did that, but somebody suggested that we gave them a second round pick only because we wanted this real bad because we wanted to be able to use it. But there's just no signs. There's still there. I mean, people want a point guard. There's there's a million point guards. I mean, if we want a backup point guard, we will get one cheap. And so we have, I think, uh, we just signed Chaz Lanier, our second round pick from the draft. That's the sharpshooter from Tennessee, and he's going to be playing in the summer league. But we signed him to a contract that didn't specify how much we gave Chaz, but he's got a contract, so he's on our 15-man roster. So that is a significant thing. But yeah, the point guards: Malcolm Brogdon, Chris Paul, Gary Payton II, Corey Joseph, Russell Westbrook, Patty Mills. Markelle Fultz, what happened to Markelle Fultz? I mean, that kid, he's not a great shooter, but he's like 6'5". He's a good defender. He's a real good passer. He hasn't been in the league for 2 years. So I don't know what's going on. Monty Morris that we had. I love the idea of Monty Morris. I don't know how great he would have been, but we signed him for nothing, but he never played for us. He was just injured his whole time with us. So I mean, I'm sure some of these guys, Jared Butler, he's a guy I like coming out of the draft, and he's only 24 years old. So I've heard some people talk about that, but yeah, there were lots of deals out there. There's still deals to be had, and um, but yeah, the market's like nobody wants Malik Monk. We don't want Malik Monk because why? We're trying, and this is Trajan has a plan, and we got to respect that. The big thing was internal growth, and that is the most important thing. So the most important players on our team are Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren, and Asar Thompson. Those four guys are the guys, and then closely behind them is Stu and Holland. And so those are the guys and their improvement and development. So you don't want to add so many guys that you're going to take away minutes from those guys. So it's just like last year, we did not sign a point guard. Everybody was screaming for a backup point guard. Well, the brain trust for the Pistons decided they were going to let Ivy stagger with Cade and play backup point guard. And then we never did sign a point guard, only after when Ivy broke his leg. And so that's when we got Dennis Schroder. So why is that to say we're going to look for somebody else when we are? And now we have LeVert to take up minutes. And again, Duncan Robinson can play the two. Uh, Obviously, LeVert can play the two. And Ivy is going to be the starter at the two and he's going to play 37 minutes. Holland could even play the two. There's all these guys, so we don't need to be stacking up guards for positions that we don't need. But it just we don't have a backup four. So getting Laravia or Collins, for example, which they went for nothing, and we don't have anybody to back up Tobias. So what happened? He had a mediocre first part of the year until like the beginning of January. He shot poorly, but then after that he was really good. We have him only on contract for one more year. And so what is going to happen, this year? What if he's older? Older players get hurt more frequently. He has been, in his career, he's been consistently played a huge number of games. That's part of the thing that Trajan liked about him. And so he might not, but he's getting older. You need a backup. If he does get hurt or need to miss time and he does need to be on the bench, and sure, we can roll. Asar can play the four, especially against certain teams. Holland could possibly play the four a little bit. And so we got guys that can slide in there. I mean, they never did it last year, but Stu could play the four for a while. But I just am underwhelmed. I just was hoping for things. Again, I really wanted to kill Alexander Walker um, after we lost Beasley. And so I really wanted him. He's a lights out shooter, but we don't know anything. That he didn't sign for that much. He signed for I think we could have matched that, but obviously I guess he wanted to play in Atlanta. But he's a super defender. We would want him for 4 years. He would be part of a team that we would want to go to win the championship. So Trajan is lining up all of his contracts. He's not signing anybody for more than 2 years. After the 2 years, that's gives us some insight that that's when he's going to be going for it. That's when he wants to go in and get somebody. There is still players available. Chris Boucher, a lot of people talking. He's 32. He's 6'9", so he can shoot. He's 36% on threes, but he can play, and he's played for the Raptors. So he's available, and he's the way the market is. Nobody's paying anybody anything, so you would think that if we offered him something, even a little bit, that he would jump in and take it. So, um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what is going to go happen. I keep on thinking. I told everybody that I thought we were going to make one significant move, and we sort of did. I mean, we got Levert and we got Duncan Robinson, so I guess that's significant moves. I was also on here saying that we shouldn't re-sign Schroder, and a lot of you disagree with me, and I don't. I understand why you do, and a lot of you, fewer of you, wanted to sign Tim Hardaway Jr. But he kind of said, "Oh yeah, we want to bring those guys back," but I don't think that was the reality. I think we knew that we could definitely improve on Tim Hardaway Jr. And I do think the rationale that I gave for not signing Shooter was simply because we weren't going to have minutes. Because last year we were able to play him 25 minutes because Ivy was out, so we played him at the two alongside Cade. Well, this year Ivy's not out; he's going to be taking on more minutes, and now we have Levert. So yeah, we do have a team with a lot of size, so we can switch on guys, and Levert is 6'6" and he's strong and he can defend. Robinson 6'8", and we got Cade is tall. Ivy's our shortest guy. He's 6'4" and he's got super speed, and so he's a freak athlete. And so that kind of makes up. And he's still, if you look at him, he's ripped and he plays fast and he competes. So I think that something to be said for that. But yeah, I don't understand exactly how everything works. I would love to know anything that goes on behind the scenes, but I'm excited about the summer leagues coming up. July 11th, we play the Knicks on NBA TV, and I'm going to be going out of town. I'm going to sad for me, our AAU team with my granddaughter. This is our last go around. She'll be a senior, so she won't be playing AAU anymore. She'll be in college, and so we're going down to Cincinnati, and we're going to play for 5 days, and then we got a 3-day break, and then we're going to play for 4 or 5 more days, and then that's the end of our AAU season. But it's been a wonderful run with the Michigan Mystics, and our team is looking really good. But yeah, so we play July 11th, the Pistons Summer League team, 13th against the Rockets. That's on ESPN2. A lot of these games are on NBA TV. July 15th and July 17th, and then there's a little tournament that they have. So we'll be getting some games in those during that time. So yeah, we'll see if we do sign Chris Boucher, and we'll see if there's any other moves. What we're saying, are we really saving that 14 million? And I'm sure there were talks about different trades. Again, we all know that um, a big thing going around the NBA is what's going to happen um, with the Golden State Warriors, and what are they going to do? Are they going to make a trade or not? And it's hard for them to decide what they're going to do. But yeah, it's a hard thing to do, and we don't want to commit, and we don't want to get stuck with anything. But Colin, John Collins is a 1-year contract just next year, and Jake LaRavia signed a 2-year contract, $6 million. And so I just wish we could have maybe got one of those. But the improvement of our young guys is going to be the key. Trajan said that from his press conferences. He said that all along. I do think we're going to be a lot better because I think those guys are really going to be better. And again, we've talked about it before. Sauer didn't have an off season, and he's young, and he's going to just get better. And so is Holland, and so is Cade, and so is Duran, and so is Ivy. And I'm still really excited about that. But our summer league team, so I mean, I'm sure it's had to be out there. There's a guy that we going to play on our summer league team, TJ Bickerstaff. I don't know if he's related to JB. I almost guess he is, but he's 6'9", and JB's not close to that. But Holland's playing. We get to watch Ron play. That's going to be fun. And Dennis Jenkins, he's a trip. He's a character, and he has some strong plays. Bobby Clipman, we all liked him. I still say that we never used him last year. The only Piston game he got to play was the last game of the season. He played really well, but it was fun watching him play in the summer league last year. A lot of focus is going to be, at least on my eyes, on Chaz Lanier. He can shoot it so quick. off the catch and off movement. We got Toulouse Smith, and he was that big guy, 6'11". He's been up with the Pistons a couple times, but I'm really intrigued to see Bryce Williams play. He's that 6'6" guy from Nebraska that's a great shooter. He's not a great athlete, but he'll be fun to watch. And I'm really intrigued by seeing what happens with um, Dawson Garcia. He's the 6'11" kid from Minnesota that played really well, was a McDonald's All-American, and I hope, and we loved our interview with him. So, we need 6'11" guys that can shoot threes. Again, I keep on saying that. And so someday, hopefully, we'll get one. But yeah, there's been a lot going on in the NBA. There's been a lot of deals. Paulo Banchero signed his 5-year. If it goes for the max, if he makes All NBA, it'll be $287 million player option. And another thing, so I still got an episode coming up about Ivy and Duran's extension, and there's good for us. There's a lot of contracts that have been signed. Well, sometimes not good for us. Like Jakob Poeltl signed for way more than what he should have, and so but it kind of sets the market for Duran and Ivy. There's a big advantage to signing them now. So like the Magic, they got Banchero and Franz Wagner and Suggs signed for 5 years. That's their young core of great, really good players, and they got them locked in. So the thing is, the pay goes up every year, So like if we sign Ivy and Duran for extensions this year, right now, and I think we have till October to do it, their extensions don't kick in till the following year. If we wait until free agency, the restricted free agency, if we wait till the end of this year, I the I think those contracts go up the amount that they can make and stuff. So there is some advantage to getting them locked in, especially if we could get them, between 25 and 27 and 20. Ivy maybe 28 million even. And again, we'll talk about them and we'll talk about some comparisons. But yeah, I'm sorry I didn't have something exciting. Something that's really earth shaking to report, but we're still going to be good. We're still going to be super fun to watch, and we'll still be keeping an eye on things. And like I said, I'll be out of town, so if something breaks, I won't be able to podcast it right away. But when I get back after next Monday, I will do a podcast on whatever's happened. So thank you very much for listening. You mean a lot to me, and have a great time and be the reason that somebody feels listened and heard. And go Pistons.